and welcome again to Sam's 10-Minute Tuesdays with my co-host Joe Templin, where we get to share some best practices and the merits of activity management in 10 minutes or less. Hey Joe, good to see you and great to hear from you today.
Good seeing you, my friend.
So today we'll be talking about accountability partners, something that I think we all kind of struggle with. I know I do, but accountability is a double-edged sword. But we're going to talk about that today and some pretty cool stories that are associated with it. Joe, what say you about this great topic?
Well, I want to ask you a question, actually. Can you fly?
No, sir. I tried.
No, I can't either. Can't just flap my wings. We're not birds. We're not born with that capability. So what do humans do? We use our mind and build things that help us achieve what we want. So we build airplanes. Not all people are just these machines that are going to do exactly what they have to do to have success. We're human, sometimes we want to stay in bed, sometimes we don't feel good, whatever. So that's why accountability partners exist. And they exist across lots of different parameters. They can be people, they can be automated, they can be tools, and they can be applied in lots of different ways. I'm doing Run the Year yet again this year. So for 2021, I need to run 2,021 miles. I'm actually doing it with somebody else, so we have to do twice that. And we are each other's accountability partners. Even though I'm going to do the majority of the miles, her posting her miles makes me have to do what I need to do, and vice versa. If you're going to do a run at 5 o'clock in the morning and you don't show up, your accountability partner is going to give you all sorts of abuse, as they should. Okay, your office runs this way. The family runs this way. If my one kid doesn't do their job and one of my other children pays the price for it, guess what? There's going to be some accountability, and it might involve some bloodshed. Build these things out on a regular basis to make us do what we need to do when we don't feel like it. And that's what accountability partners are great for.
My garbage man is an accountability partner, because if I hear the truck go by and I don't have the garbage out that day, I am running out there to get, there's some accountability not to not bring it out. But
yeah, and you're probably going to hear it from your significant other for the entire week, aren't you?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, it's a hot topic for me right now because I'm going back to an old tool that we used years ago to hold myself accountable for exercise. Now, I put on some of the COVID weight maybe, and I need it. And I know I operate better if I set goals and keep score. This is not just for in business. It's not why I just preach at SAM, but because it really applies to every aspect of my life. And in particular, it has to do with the exercise. Well, my nephew is a what do you call it, Ironman competitor. And he showed me many years ago the same thing you're talking about, having a digital partner where you actually push each other and you're really going to the next level. That's a whole other level. One, frankly, I have a hard time really picturing in my head and then getting through my head. But I like to hold myself accountable, and on smaller scale, to track how many miles I run, bike, or walk. So years ago, we no longer produce them. Maybe we get enough encouragement from our listeners. I might start producing them again. I produce what's called the mile book. Now, all I have left is pink. We have in pink and blue. Guess what? For different sexes. But I'm proud of it. I'm using the pink one right now. It's how many miles I run, bike, or walk. And my wife repeatedly says that if it wasn't for this, she would not be putting on her 8 miles a week for the last 5 years. She does it continually. This is an accountability partner. Just a piece of paper, a scorekeeping tool, a SAM tool.
This is my accountability partner, has been since day one in the business.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I could have somebody else in the office who abuses me if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, whether it's writing or picking up the phone or a certain amount of production. But this holds me accountable to me, which is ultimately the best accountability partner. But sometimes we need the additional extra push of an external person or a timer on our clock or a reminder in our CRM or the manager walking in, knocking on your door. Hey, how come you're sitting here dorking around instead of picking up the phone?
Right. Yep. It's great to have your own peers. Sometimes little zings, little shots, little teasing, but hey, it works. If so what would you recommend to our listeners when it comes to activity management and to insurance and financial services? What would you recommend they do with someone else?
So this is something that I actually did for a long period of time, is that let's say that my goal is that I need to get 15 appointments a week on the phone, brand new appointments to run my business for my activity members. And you so-and-so have your number, and that might be 12, might be 18, whatever your number is. We're going to have a scorecard on the wall, an actual board where we are tracking on a daily basis how many of those appointments we're getting per day or whatever activity that is. And so you can see that I got 2 so far today, and week to date I'm at 14. So I'm almost there for mine. And you're not there. So I can see that. I can give you the gentle nudge or the support or the kick in the butt, whatever is appropriate for you at that point. And we have it very visible, and we are tracking each other and supporting each other. If I do my goal and you don't do your goal, you're buying me a beer. If you do yours and I don't do mine, I'm buying you a beer or a glass of wine, or washing your car or something like that, so that there is a prize on the line, even if it is literally a donut. And if we both hit it together, we celebrate together. So it's not just an I win, you lose sort of scenario. It is, we can both win, we can both lose, or one of us can win, the other one can lose. And the best outcome for everybody is to have both of us continuously winning, because then we're hitting our goals and we can succeed and celebrate together.
Yeah, you bring up a great point about having some type of consequence, to accountability. Maybe positive, maybe negative. It's having them buy you lunch, dinner, donuts, whatever it is. That's certainly a great accountability. I think it's motivation. Because after all, there are 2 primary motivators of all human beings, as you know. That's a pain and pleasure, the desire to avoid pain or gain pleasure. And unfortunately, pain is a stronger motivator. I heard one guy, what was it? If he didn't reach a certain level, his wife made them take her parents out to dinner or something, because it was an in-law challenge here.
Oh, geez.
So
I had one rep I was coaching years back. He was a Division I athlete in college, and so I made him write $1,000 check to his rival school's athletic department and hand it to his manager. And if he didn't hit his goal every single week for 13 weeks, the manager was sending that check. At the end of 13 weeks, he goes on and he's like, give me my check, and he rips it up. And he freely admits the only reason he did what he had to do week after week was not the $1,000 check. It was giving anything to that other school. It could have been $1 and it would have motivated this guy as much. And I think he made, I think he wrote $150,000 of premium in a 13-week period, just so you know how high his level was. But his activity was off the charts, and he kept it going because of that. After he tore up that check, he's like, yeah, I need to write another one because that worked.
That's
Other
cool.
people that doesn't work for, but find the accountability with yourself or another human being or some automated system that works for you, that is going to make you do what you need to do every single day, whether it's doing your push-ups, running your miles, picking up the phone, asking for introductions, getting into the office by 7 a.m., whatever it is that you need to be doing, that you need the accountability around. Find a support system so that, like the airplane, you can truly fly.
Yep. Well, Joe, thanks again for joining us. And what's your great line to plug introductions?
So sales is an activity game, and introductions allow you to win that game every single day.
Thanks, Joe. See you next week.